To apply the stockinette for a long arm cast, you will need 2 pieces of stockinette. If the patient's upper arm is much larger than the forearm, you may use 2 different size stockinettes. First, scrunch a 6 to 10 inch piece up and slide onto the upper arm, stopping just below the armpit. Scrunch another 10 to 14 inch piece up and apply it to the wrist and forearm, leaving the elbow exposed. Cut a hole for the thumb and feed the thumb through. Next, place the arm in the neutral position, which is roughly 90 degrees unless told by the provider to have it at a specific angle. After the stockinette has been applied, you can apply the web roll. For a long arm cast, you will need 1 3-inch roll and 2 2-inch rolls of web roll. Begin at the proximal arm using the 3-inch roll and hold the roll away from the patient's skin. Wrap 3 times around to hold the stockinette in place. Work distally towards the elbow. At the elbow, use numerous tears in a figure 8 wrapping technique to avoid wrinkles. Also be sure to avoid excess cotton in the crease of the elbow. It is important to pad the olecranon well to protect it from the fiberglass and because it often gets bumped. Once you've finished with the 3-inch roll, start at the forearm with a 2-inch roll and work distally toward the hand. Remember to turn the roll to make small tears so that the cotton lays flat. At the thumb, use tears to make the cotton lay flat as well. During the process, rip out any wrinkles that occur. Use the last 2-inch roll, start at the proximal end of the cast and work distally towards the hand. Be sure to pad the elbow well. It is also important to make sure the arm stays in neutral the whole time you are wrapping to avoid wrinkles in the crease of the elbow. After the web roll has been applied, you can apply the fiberglass. First, place a chuck across the patient and put on gloves to protect you both from the sticky, hard-to-remove fiberglass. For a long arm cast, you will need 1 3-inch roll and 2 2-inch rolls of fiberglass. To begin, remove the 3-inch roll of fiberglass from the packaging and dip in warm water. It is important to use warm water as cold water will cause the fiberglass to dry too quickly, and hot water will be uncomfortable for the patient because fiberglass heats up as it dries. Begin at the proximal upper arm using the 3-inch roll and hold the roll away from the patient's skin. Wrap 3 times around. Work distally toward the elbow. Remember not to pull too tightly on the fiberglass as it does not have the same give that the web roll does. At the elbow, use a figure 8 motion wrapping technique to avoid excess material in the crease of the elbow. It is important to reinforce the Ollkranen well because it often gets bumped. Once you finish the 3-inch roll, dip a 2-inch roll and start at the forearm and work distally toward the hand. When you reach the hand, fold the fiberglass on the palm side and hold in place, and on the back side of the hand, and secure with one wrap around proximal to the thumb. Next, bring the roll out and cut a small slit in the fiberglass to go around the thumb. Have the patient give you a thumbs up and work around the thumb, making folds where necessary. Repeat this a couple times. Then, work back toward the elbow until you finish the roll. Once you have finished that roll, fold the stockinette back. You may give it a little tug to provide extra padding to protect the skin from the fiberglass. At the hand, use the stockinette to protect the thumb from the fiberglass. Dip the last 2-inch roll and start from the proximal end of the cast and work distally towards the hand down the entire cast. Be sure to reinforce the elbow well. Also make sure that the last roll holds down both the proximal and distal stockinettes. It is also important that the arm stays in neutral the whole time you are wrapping to avoid wrinkles in the crease of the elbow. Be sure that there are at least 2 layers of fiberglass at all areas of the cast. Once you finish the second roll, you will use hand soap to make the cast dry faster and to reduce its stickiness when applying the molds. Get hand soap from the sink and lather the cast up. Use only your palms to press on the cast in the center of the palm and on the anterior and posterior aspects of the arm to prevent the cast from moving. The cast will take approximately 10 to 15 minutes to fully harden, so be sure the patient does not rest the cast down or put anything over the cast during that time. To remove a long arm cast, first place a chuck over the patient and put on gloves. You will need to cut along the median of the anterior and posterior sides of the cast. I've drawn lines to make this more clear. Although the cast saw uses vibratory motions and can therefore not cut soft matter such as cotton padding or skin, it does heat up fast and should not be left close to the skin for long periods of time. Turn the cast saw on to the high setting. Make quick in and out motions from end to end of the cast, turning at the elbow. Watch and listen for the cutting of this cast. finished making the cuts, use the spreader to pry open the cast. Hold the handles apart and insert the flat portion into the cut line. Squeeze the handles together. You may need to spread both sides of the cast. Next, make a small snip at the distal end of the posterior side. Feed the blunt end of your scissors between the padding and the stockinette and cut through the cotton. Be careful at the elbow. Then, go back, lift the stockinette away from the skin and cut through it. This is to avoid harming any compromised skin or sutures that may be under the cast. Lastly, remove the cast from the patient's arm.